One of the most popular hobbies in the world is watching movies. The worldwide movies and entertainment industry was worth $100 billion in 2022. And that is a certain measure of how popular movies really are. A movie can be categorized as comedy, action, tragedy, thriller, drama, melodrama, fantasy, fiction, horror, and even romance. Whatever be the genre, a person who watches the movie comes out feeling entertained. And that is why movies are so popular, because they entertain. Now here is a serious question. Knowing what is good and bad, what is happy and sad, it is understandable that we get entertained by comedy, fantasy, or even romance. But how can one enjoy action where there is hurt and killing? How can one enjoy tragedy when someone is suffering? Worse even, how can someone enjoy horror? We don't entertain this in real life. Why then in real life? Because it is not real, we answer. Yes. When we watch a movie, we go through a roller coaster of emotions, but come out feeling entertained. Because we know that the movie is just an illusion being played out on a screen. A movie is just like a dream, where we know that it is all just make-believe. Now is the time to pay close attention. What if life too, with all its action, tragedy, comedy, drama, melodrama, romance, and even horror was just an illusion, a dream being played out on a screen? What if the sorrow, anger, disappointment, frustration, and all the negative things we feel, along with the positive things we feel, is only because we are so involved in this movie of life that we forget it is a delusion? All the teachings of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, the avatar of this age, are focused on realizing this very truth of who we are. Once we follow his direction of Know Thyself and find the answer to the question, who am I? We will transcend life's dualities of pain and pleasure, sorrow and joy, darkness and light, and ultimately find and experience supreme peace and bliss.
Know Thyself is an ancient aphorism written at the entrance of the Apollo temple in Greece. Apollo was a god of light and knowledge, and he encouraged us all to discover light and knowledge in the universe. But this topic of self-knowledge, of discovering who we are, is not limited to Greece. It is present in all religions and faiths across the history and around the world. Lord Jesus, for example, demonstrated this by different statements throughout his life. Initially, he said, "I am a messenger of God." Later in his life, he said, "I am Son of God." And later in his life, he said, "I and my Father are one." There is an important saying in Islam: whoever knows themselves knows their Lord. In India, a well-known saint, Ramana Maharshi, encouraged everyone to discover, to find an answer to only one question: who am I? Bodhidharma, founder of Zen Buddhism in China, said, if you want to find the Buddha, you have to see your own nature. You have to discover your true self. Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism, also highlighted this concept by saying, knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is wisdom. The ancient Greek philosopher Pythagoras stated, know thyself, then you will know the universe and God. In January 1975, Sathya Sai Baba has revealed the true purpose of the Sathya Sai organization, which is for every member to discover their inherent divinity. Later, in October 1985, he has extended the circle to include all of humanity by saying the primary purpose, the primary goal of a human being is to discover their inherent divinity and redeem their life by this realization. He then explained that it is a rare opportunity that we have among the billions of people living on this planet to know him and to know his teachings. You, brothers and sisters watching these programs, all of us are of the fortunate few who have had this opportunity. Let's use it and transform our lives to find the truth of who we really are.
Who is this quest meant for? Everyone seeks peace and happiness, and so this quest is meant for everyone. In Jnanavahini, Swami explains, everyone, whatever status, class or gender, can and should try to win jnana. Medicines are only for the bedridden. How can patients become healthy and healed if one is not given the first course of a medicine? To say that a person must be pure and good and must follow certain codes of conduct before he treads the path of God is to say that one must be free from disease before he deserves medical treatment. This is absurd. Purity, goodness are all consequences of the journey towards God. They cannot be insisted upon as essential for just starting upon it.
The different types of hymns, stotrams, ashtakams, shatakams, even the suprabhatam have a portion in the end called a phalashruti. For example, this is how the Sathya Sai suprabhatam ends. Suprabhatam idam punyam ye patanti dine dine te vishanti param dhama jnana vijnana shobhita. This means whoever daily recites this morning awakening hymn will attain the highest abode, resplendent with a supreme intelligence and supreme wisdom. Phalashruti states the benefits of singing or chanting the hymn. The wise ancients realized that benefits would be the strongest motivators. Knowing oneself also promises benefits. In fact, it will grant us the greatest gifts in the universe: peace that passeth understanding and permanent bliss. This happens because when we understand who we truly are, we also realize that we are not the body or the mind. We are thus immune to the happenings of the body and mind.
The quest evolves. Each stage gets more challenging than the previous. With perseverance, all of the stages are completed and we are increasingly fulfilled. Everyone can undertake this quest, but does everyone have it in them to achieve the ultimate? Swami enlightens us about this with the story of Bhrigu. Bhrigu goes to his father Varuni, who is also his guru, to ask about the ultimate quest. His father tells him that his reality is Brahman. What is Brahman? Bhrigu asks. His father, his guru, tells him that for this he must undertake penance and know for himself. We are indeed blessed to have our dear Swami narrate this story, which forms the basis of the Bhriguvali in the Vedas.
తండ్రి దగ్గరికి వచ్చి
He approached his father.
నాన్న
Father,
ఏది ఈ జీవితంలో ప్రధానమైనటువంటిది?
What is most important in this
ఏది
life?
అన్నింటినీ నడిపించేటువంటిది,
What is the guiding spirit?
అన్నింటిలోనూ ఏకత్వంగా ఉండేటువంటిది ఏమిటి?
What is that which is common in all?
అప్పుడు తండ్రి చెప్పాడు,
Then father said,
నాయన ఇది మాటలతో తెలుసుకోవటానికి వీలు కానటువంటిది.
son, you cannot understand by word anyway.
నీవే స్వయంగా దీనిని విచారణ చేసి తెలుసుకోవాలి అన్నాడు.
You must inquire and experience and know yourself.
ఇదిగో కొన్ని తెలుసుకున్నాడు కదా. కుందేటికి విలువ ఇచ్చారు, చచ్చిన కుందేటికి, కానీ మనిషికి విలువ లేదు.
He has known sufficiently earlier because
చెప్పులకు విలువ ఇచ్చారు, కానీ శవానికి విలువ ఇవ్వలేదు.
dead rabbit has value, slippers have value, but not the dead body of man.
కానీ దీనికి తెలియనటువంటిది ఒకటి మరుగ్గా ఉండేటువంటిది ఒకటి ఉంది.
But there is a hidden principle.
అది ఈ దేహంలో ఉండినంత వరకు ఈ దేహానికి విలువిస్తున్నారు.
That hidden principle, so long it is in
అది
the
ఈ
body,
దేహంలో
it has
ఉండినంత
value.
వరకును శివం 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 అంటున్నారు.
That eternal principle, so long it is in the body, it is Sivam, auspicious.
ఆ యొక్క శక్తి ఈ దేహం నుంచి వదిలిపోతానే శవం 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 అంటున్నారు.
The
ఈ
moment,
శవమునకు శివమునకు ఉండినటువంటి వ్యత్యాసం ఏమిటి?
the moment the energy, the divine energy guiding principle is gone, it is Sivam, dead body.
కనుక నాయన నీవు సాధన చేసి తెలుసుకోమన్నాడు తండ్రి.
The father said, better you inquire and know yourself.
ఇతనే వరుణి కుమారుడు అరుణుడు. తపస్సుకు వెళ్ళాడు,
He did penance.
తిరిగి వెళ్ళాడు,
He went,
చూచాడు
he saw.
ఈ దేహానికి మూల కారణం ఏమిటి?
What is the main cause for this body?
ప్రాణం అని తెలుసుకున్నాడు.
Then he could know it's the life behind it.
ఇంటికి వచ్చాడు,
He returned home.
ప్రాణం బ్రహ్మ అన్నా నాన్న తెలుసుకున్నాను.
He told his father, Father, I have known that life is Brahman.
లైఫ్ ఉంది, ప్రయోజనం ఏమిటి నాయన? కుమారుణ్ణి అడుగుతున్నాడు తండ్రి.
Then father started asking his son,
ప్రాణం ఉంది,
there is life.
కానీ నీకు తట్టలో అన్నం పెట్టినప్పుడు ప్రాణం ఉంది, కానీ మనస్సు తినాలా అనేటువంటి సంకల్పమే లేకపోతే నీవు ఆ అన్నాన్ని భుజించగలవా?
There is food served on the plate. Unless there is a thought in the mind to eat it, you don't start
కాబట్టి
eating it.
ప్రాణం ఉండినంత మాత్రం ప్రయోజనం లేదు.
So mere life is not enough.
ఆపరేషన్ చేసే పూర్వము డాక్టరు మొత్తం మంది ఇచ్చి పొట్టను కోస్తున్నాడు.
Prior to operation, the
ప్రాణం
doctor
ఉంది,
will give
కానీ ప్రయోజనం ఏమిటి?
anesthesia to the patient. There is life. What is the use?
ఆపరేషన్ జరుగుతుందా, నాకేం చేస్తున్నారు, ఏమీ తెలియదు.
As the operation goes
అతనే
on,
ప్రాణం ఒక బ్లైండ్
the patient does not know, though there is life.
అని అన్నాడు నాన్న.
That's what father said.
తిరిగి వెళ్ళాడు అడవికి.
Then he went to the forest.
ప్రాణం కాదు బ్రహ్మ.
So life is not Brahman.
మరి కొంత తపస్సు చేశాడు.
Then he did penance.
మనస్సే బ్రహ్మ అనుకొని వచ్చాడు.
Then he returned telling that mind is Brahman.
తిరిగి తండ్రి చెప్పాడు, ఇది కరెక్ట్ కాదు, ఇది రైట్ కాదు నాయన.
Father said, this is not right.
మనస్సు ఉంది,
There is mind.
కానీ విచారణ శక్తి లేకపోతే మనసు ఉండి ప్రయోజనం ఏమిటి?
Without this faculty of thinking, what is one
బొగ్గును
of this
తినవచ్చును,
mind?
పేడను తినవచ్చును, మట్టిని తినవచ్చును, కానీ విచక్షణ జ్ఞానం కావాలి కదా.
One can eat the food and the dal and the coal, whatever dirt around.
పిచ్చివానికి మనసు ఉంది,
A madcap has mind.
కానీ ఏది ఎక్కడో ఎవరితో ఏ విధంగా మాట్లాడాలనో ఎక్కడికి వెళ్ళాలనో ఏమీ తెలియదు.
But he has no sense of propriety as to how to conduct himself.
కనుక నిజమే మనసు బ్రహ్మ కాదు.
So mind is not Brahman.
మరి వెళ్ళాడు,
Again he went to the forest.
మరి తపస్సు చేశాడు,
He did penance.
వచ్చాడు. నాన్న ప్రజ్ఞానం బ్రహ్మ అన్నాడు.
He said that prajnanam Brahma.
ప్రజ్ఞానం బ్రహ్మ నిజమే, కానీ ప్రజ్ఞానం అనేటువంటిది ఉంటుండాలి,
There is prajnana.
కానీ దానివల్ల మనకి ఏ విధమైన ఫలితం రావటం లేదు.
But it has no utilitarian effect.
గొప్ప గొప్ప శాస్త్రజ్ఞులంతా ఉంటున్నారు,
There are many scientists.
ఎంతమంది ప్రజ్ఞానంలో కలిగినటువంటి వాళ్ళంతా ఉన్నారు.
There are men of wisdom.
ప్రజ్ఞానవంతులు ఉన్నారు,
There-
విజ్ఞానవంతులు ఉన్నారు, సుజ్ఞానవంతులు ఉన్నారు, కానీ అందరికీ దానికి వెనకల అజ్ఞానము అనేటువంటిది కూడా ఒకటి వెంటాడుతుంటారు.
There are people of this awareness, the spiritual knowledge, the science and everything, but yet they are encompassed by ajnana,
అది
the
కూడా
ignorance.
పరిపూర్ణ బ్రహ్మ కాదు అన్నాడు.
So your prajnana is not Brahman.
వరుణుడు
That's what Varuna said.
అప్పుడు తిరిగి పోయాడు,
Then he went back.
కూర్చున్నాడు తపస్సులో,
He sat in penance.
లెగలేదు.
He didn't get up.
ఇంటికి రాలేదు.
He didn't return.
ఆ ఆనందంలో మునిగి 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 తనలో తాను ఎంతో ఆనందిస్తున్నాడు.
He has forgotten himself in ecstasy and bliss.
3 దినములు 4 దినములు నెల రోజులు చూచాడు. తండ్రి ఇంటికి రాలేదు కుమారుడు.
Father waited for the son 3, 4 days, months.
వెళ్ళాడు తండ్రి.
Father went.
ఒకే ఆనందంగా ఉంటున్నాడు కుమారుడు.
He saw the son in ecstasy.
నాయనా తెలుసుకున్నావా అన్నాడు తండ్రి.
Father asked, son, did you know that?
ఆనందం బ్రహ్మ, ఆనందం బ్రహ్మ, ఆనందం బ్రహ్మ అన్నాడు.
The son responded, bliss is God, bliss is God.
అనగా దేనిని పరిశీలన చేశాడు ఈ వ్యక్తి?
It means what is the
శరీరాన్ని
difference?
పరిశీలన చేశాడు.
He has examined the body.
అన్నమయం దేహము,
Body is a
ప్రాణమయము, మనోమయము, విజ్ఞానమయము, ఆనందమయము, ఈ పంచకోశములను కూడాను దాని పరిశీలన చేశాడు.
He has examined all the 5 life sheets, that of the body, that of the mind.
ఆనందం వచ్చేటప్పుడు ఇంకేది నాకు అక్కర్లేదు.
When once he attained that blissful state,
సమస్త
he does
సాధనలు
not
కూడాను
need it.
ఆనంద నిమిత్తమే సలిపేటువంటివి.
For all spiritual endeavors, it's only for
కానీ
bliss.
ఇప్పుడు మనం అనుభవించేటువంటి ఆనందాలు క్షణభంగురాలు.
But all the worldly happiness is momentary.
ఇది ఆనందాలు కాదు.
You cannot call it bliss.
కానీ అది నిత్యానందం,
That is eternal bliss.
యోగానందం,
That's one of yours.
పరమానందం,
Supreme.
అద్వైతానందం,
Non-dual.
సచ్చిత్ ఆనందం,
And that is
ఆత్మానందం.
one of the self of the
అది ఒక్క
spirit.
దైవంతో తప్ప అన్యులతో ఏమాత్రం ఇది మనకు లభ్యం కాదు.
Bliss, you will get it only in union with God, but nowhere else.
Remind me, my Lord, remind me, my Lord, remind me, my Lord, who I am. Remind me, my Lord, remind me, my Lord, remind me, my Lord, who I am. I am eternal Lord. I am eternal Lord. Through this life of distraction and of illusion, remind me, my Lord, who I am. Through this life of distraction and of illusion, remind me, my Lord, who I am. I am truth, I am peace, divine bliss. I am truth, I am peace, divine bliss. Ananda Swarupa, He Prema Swarupa, remind me, my Lord, who I am. Ananda Swarupa, He Prema Swarupa, remind me, my Lord, who I am. I am love, I am love, pure love. I am love, pure love. Remind me, my Lord. Remind me, my Lord. Remind me, my Lord, who I am.
Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba tells us, Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. This means the mind alone is responsible for both bondage and liberation of man. You see, the mind is like a mirror. It reflects who we are, and therefore it helps us in understanding our reality. Just like we can see ourselves when we look at the mirror, we can realize our identity by looking into this mirror called the mind. Then, if it is so simple, why is it that we struggle to understand who we truly are? Why do we find it so difficult to progress on this path to know thyself? That Swami explains in the 7th discourse that he delivered during the summer course in Indian culture and spirituality in 1990 in Vrindavan, Bangalore. In that discourse, Swami says that there are 3 defects of the mind, 3 defects that afflict this mirror called the mind, which therefore become 3 obstacles for us to know ourselves. What are these 3 defects that become 3 obstacles? The first is called mala. Mala literally means impurities or dirt. Swami likens this mala to the dust, the film of dust that sits on the surface of the mirror. If there is a thick film of dust on the mirror, we can't see ourselves being reflected in that, right? And therefore, external and internal impurities are one of the obstacles that prevent us from seeing ourselves. What is this mala? Unknowingly or knowingly, we commit many mistakes in our actions, not just in this birth, but in many previous births as well. All of these accumulate as mala. We have vasanas or tendencies that attract us to the delusional and illusory world. That is mala, which is the first obstacle that Swami speaks about, the dust, the film of dust on the surface of the mirror. The second defect, which becomes the second obstacle in knowing ourselves, that Swami calls as vikshepa. Now imagine that you have a mirror that is dust-free. Will we be able to look at ourselves in it if this mirror is constantly shaking and vibrating? However clean the surface might be, when the mirror is vibrating, we can't look at ourselves. So too, though we might not have any vasanas and we have done actions wonderfully well, the nature of the mind is to be fickle and wayward, shaking. Lord Krishna is asked by Arjuna, Chanchalam hi manak Krishna pramadi balavad drudam. Oh Krishna, my mind is so chanchal or fickle, wayward. Tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. To control it is more difficult than controlling the wind with my hands. A great accomplished person like Arjuna finds it difficult to control the fickle and wayward nature of the mind. Then what to speak about ordinary mortals like us? And therefore, this fickle and wayward nature of the mind becomes the second obstacle, the second defect of the mind, which prevents us from knowing ourselves. Now we come to the third obstacle, the third defect of the mind. This, Swami says, is called avarna. This is the deadliest of all the defects and the most troublesome obstacle for us. It is akin to a thick black cloth covering the mirror. Now just imagine, however clean the mirror might be, however steady it might be, if it is covered with such a thick black cloth, how can we see ourselves ever in it? This avarna, what is this black cloth? Swami says this avarna is composed of the 6 vices: kama, desire; krodha, anger; lobha, greed; moha, infatuation; mada, pride; and matsarya, envy. In fact, Swami in that discourse goes on to say that mada or pride is of 8 different types: pride of youth, pride of wealth, and so on. The worst among them being pride of spiritual knowledge. So, avarna is the third obstacle that prevents us from seeing ourselves, or prevents us from seeing our true reflections in this mirror called the mind. Therefore, the 3 obstacles that have to be overcome in order for us to know ourselves and to achieve the ultimate in life are mala, which is dust on the mirror, which is the vasanas and tendencies from this birth and the previous birth; vikshepa, vikshepa is the wayward nature and the fickle nature of the mind; And the third avarna, or the 6 terrible vices that prevent us from seeing ourselves. The only way to know thyself or to know our reality is to overcome these 3 defects.
For millennia, the seekers of truth had the eternal quest regarding the mystery of creation. How did it come about? What is the purpose of creation? What is the purpose of human life? Where did we come from? And where are we going? We are blessed and fortunate that the avatar of the age, our loving Lord Sai, the incarnation of love, has given the answer for us. He says, the purpose of human life is to realize and manifest our true nature. That our true nature is, we are the embodiments of divine love. We are the embodiments of the divine Atma. We are the embodiments of divine bliss. That is why that beautiful bhajan we have, remind me, my Lord, remind me who I am. So the God has come down to remind us of our true nature. And why are we not able to realize that we are that embodiments of divine bliss and divine love? There are 3 major obstacles. They are mala, that is the dirt, impurities, and vichepana, that is the distortion of the mind, the wavering of the mind, the turbulence of the mind. And third one is avarana, the veil of ignorance covering the truth. You already heard the beautiful example of the mirror and the reflection. I would like to give another example of going towards a lake. You go to the lake and you see the reflection in the waters. When there is a water that is dirty, the image is not clear. That is mala, that is dirt, impurities. Or the water may be clean and clear, but if there are waves in the lake, then also our image gets distorted. And then the third one, this is called vichepana, that is the distortion. And the third one is avarana. The water may be clean and there are no waves in the lake, but the lake is covered by the algae and the moss. Then you cannot see the image. So how to overcome these obstacles? Thousands of years ago, Lord Krishna gave the answer in Bhagavad Gita in chapter 4 and shloka 34. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeshanchite ajnanam dhyaninam tattvadarshanaha. Shri Sai Baba, in his infinite love and compassion, gave a very beautiful explanation for this. He said, by doing service, by devotional practices, and by self-inquiry, one can get rid of these 3 obstacles to jnana, so that this jnana becomes self-luminous, self-effulgent. Our Lord Sathya Sai Baba has beautifully expounded this theme further, and he explained it beautifully in many of his divine discourses. First, coming to the thing mala, the impurities. The impurities we get are because of our bad habits. Number 1, over time we have the habit of eating wrong food. The essence of the food makes the thoughts and the mind. That is why the impure food causes impure thoughts. That is why for spiritual seekers, it is prescribed one should have sattvic food. And also we should be careful who cooks the food, what are the various vessels which are used for the food, and what is the thoughts of the person who is cooking the food, and whose company we are eating the food, because all this influence the food. Sometimes we don't have control about that. Then the best thing is do the food prayer, which we chant
Brahmarpana. This is when we offer the food to God, it gets sanctified and all the impurities are gone. In addition to the food we take to the mouth, we should be careful about the food we take through our other senses, like what we see through the eyes, what we hear through the ears, and other senses too. So one should be careful about the food you take through not only the mouth, but through the other senses. In addition, the two more things which come as obstacles is our habits, work habits, and sleeping habits. Too much work or too little work, too much sleep or too little sleep are also obstacles to this yoga. So that is why it is prescribed moderation in food, moderation in sleep, and moderation in work is very important to get rid of this impurity. This is what Lord Buddha also has emphasized as middle path. In addition to this, time-tested process is doing selfless service. This is said, Chittasya Shuddhaye Karmana. Doing selfless service purifies our mind and heart. But what is the selfless service? Giving food to the hungry, water to the thirsty, clothes, shelter, education, and health to the needy. This is service. In addition, the simple things like loving thoughts, kind words, loving gestures like a smile, giving a pat are also doing selfless service. But how do we do this selfless service? When we do selfless service, two things are important. We should do without any ego or attachment. No ahankara and no mamakara. Then it really gives us spiritual benefit. How do you know we are having the benefit? Ultimately, when the selfless service culminates as a spiritual practice, we realize the one who is serving is God, the one who is served is God, and the process of service is also divine. So all the three become one. The one who is serving, the one served, and the process of service. And the greatest example for this is Lord Hanuman, example of selfless service. And in the recent times, Mother Teresa of Calcutta. And next obstacle we have is the vichepana, the wavering of the mind, turbulence of the mind, distortion of the mind. And one of the easy practices to overcome this is to do the devotional practices. There are Navavida Bhaktis, 9 types of devotion, but I will dwell just on only 4 of them. One is Shravanam, just listening to the stories and glories of God. That itself is a great spiritual practice. Second is Kirtanam, singing His glories, the bhajans. This is another nice spiritual practice. And third is Sakhyam, developing friendship with God, considering Him as our best and intimate friend. And fourth thing is Atma Nivedana, complete surrender to God. Give our body, mind and soul to God. They ultimately realize what all exists is only God and God alone. That is the ultimate surrender. Another 2 time-tested practices are Japa, the repetition of divine name, and Dhyana, the meditation. These 2 spiritual practices are done by people of all faiths. The example of people who have practiced these devotional practices are many, but like Mirabai and Surdas, Tyagaraja, and Saint Paul, and Saint Francis of Assisi. These were the noble examples. And the third one is Avarana. That is veil of ignorance which covers the truth. It makes us feel what we are not. Wrong identity. So we identify with the body, mind, and intellect. Because of the wrong identification, we develop the negative tendencies, like the 6 enemies, inner enemies, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Desire, anger, greed, attachment, pride, and jealousy. So how to overcome this avarana? One is the method of neti, not this. First you go on and say, I'm not this body. then go on inquiring, who am I? I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm not the intellect. Finally, we realize after intense inquiry and austerity that we are that eternal Atma, we are the eternal Brahman. Then we realize the ultimate truth. What we denied, neti neti, then we realize not only this, that means what we said no, that means not only body, mind, intellect, everything is Brahman, because what all exists is Brahman. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahman. So every moment, every cell, every atom is permeated with Brahman. That is the realization we come to. Another, which is easy method for many spiritual seekers, is practicing intense love for God. To feel that He is our heart and soul. As we say, love thy God with all our heart, mind, soul and strength. We should have that one-pointed, intense, pure love for God. Then the Lord assured He Himself will remove that avarana. He made it our work easy. Actually, this is beautifully explained by Lord Krishna in the chapter 10, in the shlokas 10 and 11, where He said, if you have intense love for me, I will remove that obstacle, avarana, so that you will get that realization who you are. And I prayed to Swami, I asked him this particular question for clarification, and Swami confirmed, if you have intense love for God and have absolute faith, this avarana is gone. The best example for having the intense love for God are the gopikas, the cowherd girls of Vrindavan, whose love Swami extolled in many of his discourses. Their whole life and thoughts was always centered around Lord Krishna. That is why they did not have to have any other spiritual practice, and then they realized the Brahman, because the Lord Krishna Himself removed the avarana for them. So, we are fortunate that we have Bhagawan Baba, who has shown us the way through his teachings, and he has given us this platform, Sri Sathya Sai International Organization, to practice this. So, he founded it, he nurtured it, and he guided it and continues to guide it. That is why we have three wings in the Sathya Sai International Organization. One is the service wing, participating in which our mala, impurities are removed. Second, we have devotion wing, participating in this, our vichepana is gone, turbulence of the mind, distortion of the mind. And third is the education wing, participating in which our avarana is gone, that's veil of ignorance. So let us pray to Swami to bless us with devotion, dedication, discrimination, detachment, and determination, so that we overcome these three obstacles and realize our true nature, that we are the embodiments of divine love, embodiments of divine Atma, that is divine bliss.
In these confusing times, it is often difficult for us to know what to do. Concerning service activities, Swami has made it very simple for us to follow the path he has so beautifully laid out for us, giving us a divine command: help ever, hurt never. Following this instruction, Zone 7 decided almost 3 years ago to support our brothers and sisters in Ukraine, where this terrible war is going on. We collected numerous items like food, clothes, hygienic articles, and whatever is needed to send them over into this region. But besides that, we did something else.
we wrote encouragement letters and encouragement cards in Ukraine language, telling our brothers and sisters that we feel with them, that we share their sorrows and fears. And we got the feedback that these cards and letters sometimes were much more important than just a loaf of bread or a warm winter pullover, because it gave them the feeling that they are not alone and that all of us are united. What else can you do when you share Swami's love and when it is this that helps the people to survive?
One of the greatest treasures we have that were left by Swami for us are his discourses and Bahinis. Bahinis are written, discourses are spoken. In a moment, I will tell you how the Sri Sathya Sai organization is making these discourses available to you in various sizes and formats. We know from his teachings that the purpose of all spiritual practices, adoration, service, or inquiry, is to purify the mind. The mind is one of the 5 sheaths that surround the Atma, or true self. So why should we purify the mind? Well, if the mind is clear, then we have more awareness that is in the buddhi or intellect or discrimination sheath. Within that sheath is the ananda, bliss, joy sheath, and hidden in that joy sheath is our divine self, our Atma. So how to purify the mind? Swami says, keep the mind in close contact with the Lord and his teachings. Do our duties, but when the mind is not otherwise occupied, give it something beneficial to do, like say the Lord's name, any name of the Lord that you love. So how to absorb the mind in his deeper teachings? Swami gives 3 steps. First is listening, then ruminating, then imprinting on our hearts so that the teachings manifest in our daily lives. Step number 2, the ruminating, is important. A small story from my own life. In 1997, our young adult children were signed up to go to the young adult conference in Prasanthi Nilayam. They did go, and all the young adults were assigned to read Dharma Vahini. I had not read the whole book at that time, so I picked up a copy and started reading. I have to say, it was a tough go. I really understood quite little of the book, but over time, over coming back to it, ruminating about it, I understood more and more, and it became very, very clear that the purpose of human life, the main fundamental dharma of human life, is to realize this divine Atma, that we are our divine self. So, how to absorb our mind in his teachings? First, start small. Sri Sathya Sai organization provides daily divine quotes. You can sign up and have these quotes delivered to your phone or your device. Or you can visit sathyasai.org on the SSSI website and read an entire discourse, or listen to an entire discourse, the original recordings. And we recently started producing small divine discourse video clips. They're excerpts from divine discourses. Swami's original Telugu is the same. The English translation, however, is slower, more articulate, and more carefully pronounced. We get feedback from people that say they can understand what Swami is saying, given this slower pace for the translations in English and clear articulation. My prayer is that all of us start and continue to purify our mind and continue this practice, which is lifelong, together.
Swami calls us embodiments of love. He reminds us who we are. But the love that Swami refers to is not merely emotions or feelings. It is pure, divine energy, who we truly are. This love, we educate ourselves through reading scriptures, listening to Swami's discourses, attending Balvikas, SSC. We then cultivate the energy through devotional activities, participating in bhajans, chanting prayers, namasmarana, then fully charged of this divine energy through education and devotion. It is love in action, service. Everything is connected. Every step that we take brings us closer to our dear Lord. The sadhana, 1 million steps to Swami's 100th birthday, is an expression of our love and commitment to Swami's divine mission. In Australia, we begin our journey in Uluru, the spiritual epicenter, an incredibly sacred land. From there, we journey towards our first stop, Alice Springs, more than 450 kilometers in distance. There, we partnered with a local support group, Purple House, to provide beanies for patients undergoing dialysis treatment. From here, we continued our journey, traveling up north to Darwin, covering a distance of 1,500 kilometers. In Darwin, we partnered with another local community support group called Sunset Soup Kitchen. And the need of the hour there was to provide blankets for the homeless community. And we took it upon us to contribute towards that service project and contributed more than 2,500 blankets. Our journey has been one of spiritual discovery with numerous opportunities to experience Swami's divine grace and guidance. This inspires us to continue the journey. We have now clocked more than 100 million steps and counting, with many more service and devotional opportunities along the way. The Sri Sathya Sai International Organization is the gift that Swami has granted us as the vehicle for our spiritual journey. Through this sadhana, we think of Swami in every step. We chant Swami's name in every step, and every step contributes towards opportunities of love in action. Let us all dedicate our thought, our words, and our actions in the quest to know thyself.
Dear brothers and sisters, how blessed are we, as Swami has not only given us the path to overcome obstacles and know ourselves, but He has gifted us with this beautiful worldwide Sai family, this wonderful Satsangh, His organization through which we can practice all of the sadhana necessary to achieve ultimate success. Above all, He is always with us, remember this, by our side, within us, 24/7, He is there to help us on this journey. And the best thing, He Himself has given us a daily prayer through which we can achieve these goals. As we embark on this quest to know ourselves, let us listen and learn this beautiful Lord's Prayer. Jai Sai Ram.
Oh Lord, take my love and let it flow in fullness of devotion to Thee. Oh Lord, take my hands and let them work incessantly for Thee.
Oh Lord, take my soul and let it be merged in one with Thee.
Take my mind and thoughts and let them be in tune with Thee. Oh Lord, take my everything and let me be an instrument to walk. Take my